na unaendelea kutazama Citizen Townhall kutoka chuo kikuu cha Daystar. Kabla ya kwenda mapumzikoni, kuna moto ambao ulikuwa umeashwa ambapo itakuwa vigumu kuuzima, lakini nataka kumpatia Doreen na CJ nafasi ya kuweza kuzungumza tu kidogo. Kuna mambo ambayo sijui kama yamewagusa ama yamewaudhi.
I think for me it's very hypocritical for us as women, because we're passing the buck on to the media and we don't understand this also starts at home. We're complaining about YouTube, Netflix, video vixens. We're giving our children phones, let's start, at the wrong age. You're giving them access to the internet at the wrong age. You're not monitoring their content, you're not paying attention to what they're doing, you're giving them free reign. You can't then pass on that responsibility back to these people. They want to make money, let them make their money. Sex has always sold, will always sell. It's not going to stop. So if you yourself as a parent does not take the time to monitor the content that your children are watching, you can't blame them. It's business all at the end of the day. So
I agree with Bridget on 2 points. One, this is a case of legacy versus legend. Most of us are aiming to become legends and forgetting we will leave a legacy when we die. Your children 20 years from now will Google and YouTube you. Will they be proud to see what you have put up, or will they wish they never came out of your womb as a woman? It is a mistake for us as women to hand over the rights to be defined by society, media, and people. We are the women. We should set the paradigm and shift the narrative for us to decide how we will be seen and described. Because if we don't think before we post, no one put a gun to your head to tell you to go and work. That was a decision you made on your own. So for a change as women, let's take responsibility to how we are being seen. As I said to our host, she earned her position. She didn't get it in a bedroom. So let's also respect how we portray ourselves and stop allowing everything to be about being sexualized and objectified.
Thank you.
My name is Joyce. My question is to the artist and poet. Why don't you write songs to women, to your wife, to your parents, to your mother, to your sister, a song that when they listen to, they'll be proud of who you are, other than writing Kainama Kainuka, which your children will listen to and be like, did dad write that? So that's a question. Why don't you change how you write music?
Okay. Kuna Doris hapa pia ambaye ana swali kwa poet. Leo utajibu.
I'm Doris. I would like to refer to the poet. I think it's an issue of involvement, because if you involved a lady as you're composing your shairis, hakuna msichana ange support kuinama na kuinuka kwa msichana mwenzake. So the issue is not the lady, it's you. You're not involving me to help you make your decisions in your shairis.
Na kuna mwingine Judith yuko pale nyuma kidogo, labda anaweza kutupatia kauli yake.
My name is Judith. My concern goes to our parents. As a parent, when your kid is growing up, we are supposed to spot your kid and notice what they love to do. My kid loves painting, but over time, most parents have forgotten the talents of their babies. They only focus on education and getting these big degrees, which some of us have tarmacked for more than 7 years. Then you get a chance of being a video vixen. What will you do? My parents forced me to study medicine, which I never wanted to. But I had to study because I was under their roof. That is what they wanted me to study. So wakue mama ya daktari fulani. You see? But over time, after university, hiyo udaktari sijapata hiyo kazi, nimepata kazi ya kuwa video vixen. So what will I do? I want to make a living. I want to take a step in life. What will I do? I will take on that chance to be my starting point, because this over time in our country, getting these jobs have not been that easy. It's very hard. If you do not know someone inside, for sure you will have to walk. And this is why many of the ladies end up being video vixen. You're willing to do whatever it is on set to make a living, because you started by studying what you never wanted. Okay. If our parents could be spotting our talents, then kids will make a legit living. Thank you.
Asante sana Judith. Na nataka tu kinasa sauti kiweze kumfikia Aisha, lakini kabla ya kumpatia Aisha nafasi, wacha nimpatie Hope nafasi ya kuzungumza kuhusiana na masuala ya filamu.
Well, I think my name is Hope and I'm a girl advocate with Plan International, and I think that today's debate is very, very imperative. Well, it is very heartbreaking to hear young women agree with the fact that sex does sell and that they are willing to be objectified and used. My challenge to them is, one, why don't you say no? And again, I would go back to saying that the content that we are being exposed to has given us that as one of the major choices that we should pick from. But if we had constant and a lot of women in leadership positions, and we also had women in movies who are portrayed as strong and powerful characters, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be you being president, but a woman with a dignified position, a woman who's working as a mama mboga is a dignified way of working. You don't necessarily have to stoop so low as to be objectified so that you can be able to earn your money. Today, we are talking about rewriting our stories. We want to emphasize that what if we do not have such options given to us as being objectified, and we are shown that this is a legitimate way of making money, then definitely women, young girls, and ladies will never pick that option as what they will use to earn money. So we are emphasizing that women should take the front role in saying no to such objectification, refusing such opportunities, and dictating how they would like to be presented and represented in media.
Asante sana Hope. Aisha, nadhani kinasa sauti kimekufikia. Yeye alikuwa anauliza swali kuhusiana na sera. Aisha.
Okay, my name is Aisha. So I have a question. Is there any policy that will protect a woman and a girl from sexualization and objectification?
That
word. Yeah, that word.
Hai. Nadhani hilo swali kasisi unaweza anza kwa kulijibu wewe.
Yes, it's a valid question. But matters of morality is very hard to legislate. What we government can do is to provide what we call an environment within which you can exercise your ethical values. And the ethical values are actually derived from our traditions, our religious convictions, and it is upon us who are managing society to be dynamic enough and be able to address the new challenges our children are facing. We have two generations in a period of 40 years combined together, that they call it millennial and the centennial. The two of them have very serious challenges. One of them is technology, which provides too much information without a capacity to interpret it, to manage it, because the young people, even the parents of centennial, are not prepared, and they are not nurtured, they are not coached, and they are not really mentored to be able to bring up their children with values. So it's a very dicey question, and what will address that is not really by legislating, it is by creating a conversation. Yeah. Such as the one we're having now. Okay. We're challenging ourselves. We are the trustees of the future generation. What kind of heritage would we want to give to our children? Okay. I think that's what we need to discuss. All right. I wanted to make a comment about the film 50 Shades of Grey. We had a catch because the principal actor, at the end of the film, she made a comment that I am praying that none of my family members will watch this film. That is she made a disclaimer at the end, and that is when we asked as a regulator in Kenya, we carried out the debate to Africa platform, and we also made it a discussion with YouTube operators and Facebook. It's now, we have created an international conversation, thank God, from Nairobi, and we went to South Africa, and now our CEO, for example, is at Hollywood presenting our view We want to regulate from the context of Africa, in the perspective of international collaboration. So that one, it needs all of us together to determine. Yes.
And Kate, we are having a very honest discussion here, but now there's something that is being done. Your organization, for example, Plan International, how are you beginning to change that narrative? How are you beginning to rewrite her story?
Thank you, Trevor. I think there is power in data that comes out from this research.
Yeah.
The fact that we're even here this evening having this conversation, you know, I think that is a building block to the other types of conversations we need to be having. Building on what the bishop said, you know, how do we take the experiences of regulating that movie, but also begin to regulate home? Charity begins at home. How do we begin to look internally in what we are producing in Kenya? How do we rewrite, as Hope said, rewrite her story? How do we create those spaces that are more inspirational so young girls can dream that they can be much more than some of the demeaning roles that we are seeing?
Yeah.
And how do we ensure that kuna washairi wanawake pia? Maana tukiwa na wanawake ambao wanaandika mashairi, I think the script might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And we will see women beginning to direct, produce, write, and even act in leading roles that help young girls see that there are other ways of presenting ourselves in media.
But you've even gone a step ahead, because I saw a clip from Plan International where a young girl takes over the speaker's office.
Yes.
What is that initiative about?
Yes. So we've had some very exciting build-up activities to the International Day of the Girl Child. So one thing we do every year is empower young girls to take over certain positions, certain leadership positions. This year, as you said, Trevor, we had some of our young advocates take over the High Commissioner for Canada. We had a girl take over the Swedish Ambassador's office for a day and really run the day as an ambassador and a high commissioner. And what we were trying to do there was to do role modeling, that if she can do it, if I can see it, I can be it. So by providing those opportunities in small ways, it allows girls to dream beyond what we're seeing. So what we're saying is, we women in leadership should also be providing those opportunities so girls can see it and dream and be it. And we're asking the media to be part of the conversation. We're not here to attack the media. We're saying you actually occupy such a powerful, influencing role. How are you going to seize that power and use it so that you can also provide the opportunities where girls can be represented? How can you be part of the narrative of rewriting her story?
Brilliant. And we are not shying away from the challenge. In fact, we'd like to invite everyone who's watching to jump in. The hashtag we're using is Monday Report. Also, rewrite her stories. The other hashtag at Trevor Mbidi, at M Kapombe, at Waiga Mwaura. Use the hashtag Monday Report. Tell us what you think. How do we stop the sexualization and objectification of the girl child? We'd like to hear your views as well. But Marceline, how do you balance that? Because there's commercial interests and then there's the moral values.
Trevor, yesterday I was watching East Africa's Got Talent, I think on this very same channel.
Yeah.
And I carefully noted that the performers were very decently dressed, and we must acknowledge that dancing is our culture. I too enjoy to dance. However, in dancing, we need to retain our dignity and decency. But I was keen to note that we spoke about money in the same breath as twerking, therefore suggesting that perhaps this is the only opportunity that is left to the girls. And our feeling as Amwick, and we are glad to partner with Plan on behalf of the girl child, and obviously with her brother. I've heard that expressed very strongly here, is that we want to showcase multiple choices and multiple opportunities to the girls, so that a girl does not wake up and feel that the only option available to her is to dance in a particular video. And most of the times they don't have a choice. You're told, this is how you dance, you have to dress this way. But we want a situation where girls have so many choices, and we have to showcase these choices, that actually online you can now do business and sell things to a global audience. And these are the types of mentorships, several. There are multiple opportunities. You can do Airbnb, you can do sales, you can do fashion, you can sell agriculture. We want to showcase multiple opportunities. Young girls to script these things. Young girls, when they watch these films, they want to see their face, they want to see their story, they're impressionable, they're going through challenges. Yeah. They would want to see steps of a young girl overcoming some of these challenges. For us as Association of Media Women in Kenya, one of the things we have done, we do community radio listening groups, and we have had radio listening groups sometimes with parents, because I heard here quite a bit of the role of the parent. Yeah. There's a role that the parents have to play. She so eloquently talked about it. And even the role of the teachers. And when I had parents, when we're talking about parents, it's wholesale. It is teachers, it is also the government, because the government is our overall parent. Okay. And this is where the regulator comes in as a parent. And they have a role to play, because young people, and the bishop will agree with me that the Bible talks about it, that show the child the way they should go, and they'll follow it for the rest of their lives. And therefore, the onus is upon the parent, the Sunday school teachers, and other people to show the children the way, so that we cannot sit here and say that it's the girls who wanted. Okay. Did they really want? They need to be guided. And so the mentorship programs, the girls should be given a chance to script their movies, make their films, and show their faces.
Okay. Mashirima, bado kuna maoni, naona kuna zingine pia hapa mbele.
Maoni yapo, na nataka tu kumpatia nafasi kwanza. Kuna masuala ambayo yalikuwa yametajwa hapo awali na Doris pamoja na wanawake wengine hapa, kuhusiana na kama wanawake wanahusishwa wakati ambapo haya mashairi yanaandikwa, wakati ambapo hizi filamu zinaandaliwa. Poet, umewasikia. Unadhani wakihusishwa kutakuwa na mabadiliko?
Asante sana Makapombe. Kwanza kabisa, kitabu cha 50 Shades of Grey, nani mwandishi? Ni mwanamke ama mwanaume? Ndio filamu ifike KCFB, inamaanisha kuna mwanamke akaandika kitabu 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Free, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Free. Sasa mwanamke kaanza story, sisi tukamalizia. Sawa? Tuanze hapo. Mwanamke kaandika kitabu. Mimi kama mwanamume, kama mshairi, nishasoma kitabu. Kitabu kinapendeza, sivyo Bridget? Kapendeza, sivyo? Mimi na appreciate kitabu. Hiyo ni ushairi. Hiyo ni usanii. Mimi kama mshairi nimesema hapo awali, mwanamke ni mrembo, ndaandika shairi kwa mwanamke mrembo. Na kwa zile shairi za, niko na zaidi ya mashairi 100 hivi. Pale kuna kusifu Bridget, na pia kuna wale kusifu Makapombe. Kila mwanamke ako na role kwa society. Lakini usisahau, bila rafiki yangu usema, mshairi ni kio cha jamii. I write what I see in society. Nikisema leo wainame wainuke, that's what I see.
Lakini ukiwasikiza wenyewe wanasema hawataki kuelezwa kihivyo. Unaona kama kutokuwa na mabadiliko. Na kuna mwingine pale aliuliza, haya mashairi yako unasema unaeleza urembo wa mwanamke, mamako akikusikia unaeleza urembo wa mwanamke namna hiyo, anafurahia?
Mamangu, kusema kweli, mamangu ni rafiki wangu Facebook. Ana shairi yangu ya kweli. Mamangu na alikuwa anatoaje journalist kwa Kiswahili. Mwanahabari. Sasa mamangu katoa kueleza kioo cha jamii ni hicho. Lakini mimi nikikomaa nikasema kioo cha jamii ni hicho. So mimi kesho nitaandika shairi, nitasema mwanamke. Kesho yake nitasema enyewe mwanamke akae mbaya akiinama, na nitaandika shairi. Unaona?
Bridget, kuna mwingine hapa anauliza kama wanawake wanaweza kusema hawataki wakati ambapo wanaelekezwa kufanya mambo fulani. Wanaweza kukataa.
Kusema ukweli, that's a very deep topic. If we start today, hatuwezi maliza. Why? Because for starters, I'll be very honest, because as much as wanawake hawataki, is there a way, like, I'm sorry to say, but it's just now that I've heard that there is a community where girl child is. When I was growing, ningeambiwa iko, maybe I would have retraced my steps. But how well are you advertised? How well are you advertised? How well do all the girls here know that there is a group where if we feel that we are low, we can go and talk? Not just for money. I want to be heard. Like right now, I'm an orphan, you know? So most of us here are. They want to be heard. Maybe when I feel you're low, like she said, you can start doing fashion, you can start nini. Do they have the money? Do they have the money? That's where the problem comes in. That's why they are going to Inama and Inuka. No one wants to do it. We don't want to do it. Women don't want to do it. Women want to be seen, to be admired, to be seen in good offices, you know, in lawyers' uniform, taking their degrees. That is what we want. But that is, I mean, Kenya is a third world country. Let's start there. Even if the groups that are there want to help us, will they help all of us? They can't. So at the end of the day, let's also be realistic, because we want to do it. Because also we have Citizen that is doing this today. But at the end of the day, they need to bring you advertisement, even if it's free. These girls need to know that there is somewhere they can run to for shelter.
Asante sana Bridget. Kuna mmoja hapa @bosire 001 anasema kwa mtandao wa Twitter, women have put themselves in the line of fire. They have granted men the power to puppet flex them the way they want at any cost. Is that true, Dano?
I really don't think that is entirely true if you're listening to the conversations the way they're going. And when I listen to our very able poet, I see a man in position of power. And then the conversation should also be tweaked to look at how are we involving men and boys. When Trevor started the conversation, he started with a very good statistic saying it will take around 180 years for women to get where men are. And if the conversations are revolved around bringing women up to the level where men are, then what are we doing with men and boys who are already in that level? I hear the conversation is at some point is going the way of let's have women poets, or let's have women in the driver's seats, which is a very good thing. But as you've heard, it will take 180 to get there. So then the question is, what are we doing with men like the poet? So that, you know, it's not just a woman who has to sit on that seat, but even when a man is sitting on that seat, then they're making decisions that ensures that the women's dignity are upheld. Women are in positions of power. The conversations now, I mean, men are in positions of power. The conversation now is trying to emphasize that we bring women to the level ground. But as the status are, what are we doing to ensure that men who are in those positions, boys who are growing up into those positions, are also considerate of the dignity of women and girls?
Kuna Cynthia Nyongesa katika mtandao wa Twitter anauliza, what is the definition of beauty as a girl grows? Is she told she can do great things? If yes, there's a tendency for her to look up to women in power even in her adult life. Nataka tu nimpatie mwanamume mwingine nafasi aweze kusema nasi, kwa sababu ameambiwa pia wao wana nafasi ya kubadilisha taarifa hii.
Okay, thank you Mashirima. My name is Ismail Abdi. I'm the president of Mount Kenya University School of Law. My question is a general question to all the panelists, and my question is, as the mentors of the girl child, as we are going to celebrate the girl child in a few days, what are you guys doing? Because it seems that the Inama Inuka team is doing a lot and is moving in speed, because for them they are making money against you people who are supposed to mentor people. So what are you guys doing in terms of policy making, in terms of regulation? Because we have regions in this country whereby a girl child has never been mentored. So what are you guys doing? Because this team is moving, and as far as social life is concerned, this team is taking over. Thank you.
Kulikuwa na kijana mwingine pia hapa. Tuambie jina lako na kauli yako ni ipi?
Amida Collins. Bwana Bishop, the society is already rotten. You've heard what the poet has said. I'm happy today in this room, we've got many girls than boys in this room. I mean, ladies and men. Why don't we absorb them in this institution you're saying we empower women? I'm sure that there are some people who are not watching the show. After this show, why don't we empower these women who are in this room so that they can go and take this leadership position? Thank you.
Trevor, niendelee ama nirejee kwako?
Wacha tusikie Kate atasema vipi mwanzo, because there's an issue about the strategy henceforth. And we are starting to get into the solutions now, and that's why I like this conversation, because we've talked about the reality on the ground. Now people are starting to suggest solutions. You've spoken about changing the narrative on the media side, but as Plan International, what is the strategy henceforth to empower the girl child?
Yeah. No, these are very good questions, and they're very deep questions as well. The issues are complex. I think we are dealing with issues of, you know, why do girls feel that that is the only option? I think we are speaking to the economics around what are the alternative pathways that girls have. Those are complex issues that require complex solutions. But I don't want to undermine what we are doing here today. The fact that we're even having this conversation, we are inviting men as partners to be part of this conversation. We are inviting those men who are sitting in those positions of leadership in media to see and concede that this is not the kind of value-based culture that we want to grow. And so we're welcoming you into this space to partner with us. As Plan International, we want to partner with media bodies. We want to take this conversation beyond this evening. We want to, you know, a call to action by government as well. We must begin to legislate certain things. You know, where discrimination is happening, we must be able to call it out and legislate. So if a partnership with women in media is one of the solutions that we'll take to really put this campaign and this conversation on the road, then that's what it's going to take, Trevor, to really keep this conversation going.
Okay.
I'm not a believer in one-day events, and I think for us the conversation has just started, and I think we would like to ensure that we're taking a multi-pronged approach, but we are also holding government accountable to do what they need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And on that note, let's take a quick break here on the Monday Report. The hashtag is Monday Report. We see a lot of your feedback coming through. We'll try to squeeze them in as much as we can. Just use the hashtag Monday Report at Trevor Mbija, M. Kapombe, at Wega Moura as well. It will sample some of your views during this broadcast. We're taking a quick break. We'll be back with much more in just a bit.